Today, I'm joined by Brett Harmeling, husband, father, and force of nature. He's the founder and CEO of Happy Life Labs, a movement helping people master their most valuable asset, their energy. Brett specializes in energy mastery and personal development, and he's here to share how anyone can tap into flow, unlock their potential, and start living as a peak human. Brett, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful to be here and excited to dive in.
Absolutely, man. I'm happy to have you on. It was great meeting you recently through our mutual friend, Brian McMahon, and a lot of synergies between two of us. So I was like, oh man, I got to chat with you and learn more about you and share it with the world at the same time. So grateful for you being here right now. So tell us a little bit about your story, man. I love, obviously, you're building Happy Life Labs, which we're definitely going to talk and do more about, and all the amazing things you're doing over there. I know you're also working with Tony Robbins, which is incredible, an overlap you and I have as well. But what brought you to doing all these awesome things in your life?
So my life has just been a culmination of taking risks and putting myself out there and believing in something bigger than I ever thought was possible. Anytime that I reach a breaking point or I feel like I've failed or I have a setback, what I've learned to be true about those setbacks is that they also provide the catalyst for the greatest comebacks that I've ever had in my life.
Mm,
And so when I think back to being a little boy, being bullied, being the small kid, being the high energy, crazy, wild kid, I anchor into that energy and I actually now use it and taper it into being my superpower.
yeah.
And so now I'm blessed with the opportunity to work alongside Tony Robbins and also steward a company called Happy Life Labs, which I founded in 2013, to really bring the world of personal development and peak performance and health together because I believe that those worlds should. I don't believe I am fully 100% convicted and know that these worlds are not independent of each other. They actually need to belong together because something that is true about the world today is we're just so hyper connected that we're actually disconnected from our own truth.
Yep.
And how I define power is that truth plus vulnerability equals power. So
Mm,
when you tell your story and you share it from in a place of openness and truth, and you're in a vulnerable state, that actually leads you closer to your power.
I love that, man. That's beautiful. What is a setback that defined you as a kid or just growing up in life?
Just being convinced that that I was weird or different or didn't belong.
Yeah.
Even on my wedding ring, my wife loves me. I know that obviously because we are in a eternal union together through God. But on my wedding ring, it says, "I choose you." And those words to me mean more than anything. If you look at and you study frequency like I do, you'll recognize pretty quickly that authenticity holds 1,000 times higher vibrational frequency than love. And so when you are able to identify what your childhood wounds are, the things that have always felt hard for you, and you put them at the forefront of your life, like being chosen, then those things actually are your superpowers. And so that's also why my company, Happy Life Labs, is named that because I've struggled finding happiness in life, and that's the greatest myth. It's happiness is not something that you chase like a cat because you'll pet it and then it'll run off.
Yep.
It's something so happiness is created from within. And so that's why I'm really focused on the health optimization component and building that mindset. And happiness is a choice. You can
Yeah.
be tired and still be happy, believe it or not.
Yep. I love that. And that's really cool. You're building it from your vulnerability.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful, man. I never knew that about authenticity. You said it's 1,000 times uh, more frequent. What'd you say about that versus love or something like that? I missed that.
So all emotions carry frequency,
Yep.
the Hawkins scale of consciousness.
Yeah.
Love is a little bit low, actually, because if I was like, "Hey, Naeem, I love you, man," you're like, "Cool." Like, okay, we hear that all the times. But if like I knew your childhood wound was like that you don't matter, and I say, "Hey, you know what, Naeem? Like you matter to me, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that you feel seen, chosen, loved, and accepted." You're like, "Okay, that one hit harder. Like I felt it in my
Yeah.
heart." So when someone's authentic with you, that's why like if someone tells you the truth, it might hurt at first, but you're like, "Thank you for giving me that gold." I mean, feedback equals growth. So if you're not in a space where you're always learning and growing, and as former, used to work alongside Tony as well, his methodology around constant and never-ending improvement is like the thing that is anchored into the foundation of everything. I'm like, the second you think that you know everything or stop being curious is like the day that you're moving closer to your grave.
Absolutely. Totally.
It's not about being right, honestly, That's what I've
Yep.
learned too. People have asked me how I've gotten to where I've gotten at such a young age. I made my first million by the time I was 25. And I said, I've lost more than most people have ever even tried. And I'm not saying that to
Yeah.
be cocky or arrogant. I put myself out there because I study success, and winners lose the most.
Yep.
And most people don't get that. They just think like, oh, like that guy's driving a Porsche and that guy has 7 championship rings. And that's because they put themselves out there and they did what
Yeah.
the other 99% of people weren't just willing to do. So
Yep.
when your why is important enough, you figure out the how. It just happens. If you're like, I will go to the grave, this is what I will be known for, life will unfold in a beautiful way.
Yeah. So true. I'm a basketball player. I always think of the Michael Jordan quote where he talks about all the shots he made first and then all the misses that nobody thinks about or remembers. So 100%, man, the failures are part of the game. And also Alex Harmozy has a great metaphor with the dice. He's like, you keep rolling the dice, but as long as you keep rolling, right, you're going to lose, 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 lose. But as long as you keep rolling, you'll eventually win. So that's great, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then you have to be honest with yourself and then embody the Tony Robbins mindset, which is like, if you're going to be in business, you have to remember it's a gladiator sport,
Yep.
meaning the more that you play, the more likely you are going to die. And so you
Yep.
have to have a very powerful conviction. You have to have the armor and the right tools to win and navigate those losses because you're like the longer you stay in business, the more likely you're going to die. And so when you have these two dichotomies of self-leadership mastery brought together here, you have to realize the universe would never ask you to do something that you already knew how to do.
Hmm.
So so we had to break through those patterns to overcome our fears and our belief our limitations so that we can step into that next version of ourselves. Because that's
Yep.
that's what I say is like the greatest gift that you can ever give humanity is by becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
When Naeem is rich, and I want all my friends to be rich because I know that they can contribute to the world in a bigger and better way if they don't have to worry about money.
Yep. Spot on. What did you do to make your first million at 25?
I took a company public and I built a financial practice that I sold to another private company. So I had
Awesome.
some good exits, and then I had also made a decent amount of money doing IT consulting and real estate in Chicago before I moved to Houston.
Nice. Amazing. Cool.
Hmm.
So, Happy Life Labs, it's built around in you, on you, around you.
Yeah.
And I love that, by the way. And walk us through why those three vectors matter so much for energy.
Yeah, so those vectors brought together, what I call is like, your axis mundi or the place of power within you that were think about a time of your life, if you're listening to this, where you felt like your back was against the wall and nobody was going to come to save you. That's the energy that I'm talking about that you should be waking up with every day because that energy is going to get you whatever you want in life. And so when you put things on you, they impact what comes out of you. So if you're eating, for instance, live, rich, vibrant foods that support your energetic state, that's going to also be noticeably visible, not only on your skin in the way that you reflect that energy back to people, but the way that you absorb energy in. So when I say on you, you can look back into the Bible in ancient times. Fabrics and things that are on you actually carry frequency. For instance, linen is the highest frequency. That's why people in the Bible that were, disciples and things, they wore linen because it actually holds a vibrational frequency. In today's world, we're wearing a lot of petroleum-based products that actually are bringing our energy down. And so it's not about shaming people for wearing Lululemon. It's about bringing the consciousness and awareness that like what you have on you actually impacts you. And then
Yeah.
around you. So for instance, this is a Lila Quantum Infinity capsule right here on my
Oh yeah.
necklace. This, if you're watching, this capsule is a capsule that harmonizes energetic frequency in space. This is
Mm,
what the block looks like. I don't leave without this because we're around frequencies that we can't see. I call them invisible killers, and they literally overstimulate our cells. They overexcite us, they rapidly age us, and they get us distracted, confused, conflicted, name the term, whatever you're dealing with. It's usually
yeah.
a frequency thing. So we're light beings and we absorb energy and light, whether we like it or not. So where you bring yourself as a node, if you just pretended like you're watching yourself on a camera, you could identify, oh, I was inside, indoors, in an office all day, and my sleep was bad that night. I wonder why. The air that you're breathing, the energy that your body's absorbing, and the frequencies that you're around are not natural energy and frequency sources. So most people get sleep wrong. Sleep starts with the first light in the day that determines your sleep architecture that evening. So when
Yep.
you wake up, you want to be certain to not look at your phone. You want natural light coming into your eyes, pouring into your brain, activating your pineal gland, turning on your brain, opening and waking up your body so that your body can finish its cleansing process, and then you can step into action from there. Most people, first thing they do is look at the phone. I'm like, that's impacting the sleep that night. So you have to be
Yeah.
really, really serious about it. And someone like myself with a brain injury, I have to be very serious about it, or I get fatigued, angry, almost depressed if I'm around artificial lighting too long. So in podcasts, I go in, I obviously, I'm in front, I'm where I need to be, and then from there, I navigate as quickly as possible to natural light flow.
Wow. Yep. That's huge. It makes a huge difference. I started doing that last year. Wild. I didn't start doing that before, but just getting in sunlight first thing in the morning is huge to again reset your circadian rhythm and getting your clock getting ready for to go to bed the night that night. So 100%. What is that thing called on your necklace? What did you call that?
This is called a Lila Quantum Infinity Capsule. It's a
Okay.
little capsule. There's three titanium beads inside of it
Yeah.
that are harmonized and charged with a specific frequency of energy that harmonizes. And this might sound really woo-woo, but it actually, we all have a biofield. You can measure this, meaning
Yep.
your energy introduces you before you even speak. So when you're traveling or at an event or and you meet someone, your body tells you whether or not that person you should talk to. If you override your body's innate intelligence and talk to that person or engage with them, chances are it's going to be up in the air, kind of rolling the
Wow.
dice.
Yeah.
Because your
Uh,
heart has a coherence of 6 meters, so 3 feet all around you. And
yeah.
so this device specifically harmonized that space. So anything that's within my space is harmonized with my body's biology. So
Yeah.
in a way, it protects me.
How does it inform you though? So if it's how does it inform you? Does it change temperature or what does it do?
Oh no, this device just harmonizes the frequency in my space. I'm
Oh, okay,
saying
got it.
your body, like you'll
Yeah,
feel it
your
in your
body.
body.
Yeah, yeah, your own internal
Yeah,
attunement.
right.
Got it. Yep,
Mhm.
for sure. Cool. I love that, man. It's funny. It's like unless you're not listening to your body, then you're kind of screwed. Which is
It's,
so important to learn how to do, right? Just tune into yourself uh,
well,
and what's it called? Build that relationship with yourself first. I
that's
love
right.
Milton Erickson. I don't know if you studied him, but he says so many people's problems come because they're out of rapport with themselves.
That's
You
right.
know?
And you know when you're not doing something that's in alignment, it feels fake.
Yeah.
And water can't grow fake flowers. You
Yeah.
know? So, and a leader like of any capacity, whether it's small or big, cannot transform an organization beyond their own capacity to transform themselves. So if you're in an organization or a situation where the leader that's running it isn't willing to do their own work and evolve, and you're looking to grow and become the best version of yourself, that should be something you should really take seriously.
Yep. 100%. So
And
tell us more.
I'm saying all these, by the way, Naeem, from life experiences. The
Yeah.
reason I sold my successful financial practice was because I looked around and I didn't see many people that I wanted to be like. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're miserable. Like everyone's stressed out. Everyone's not like not everyone, most people, not healthy, stressed out, overworked, underappreciated. And I'm like, I don't want this lifestyle. Like,
Yep.
so I made a pivot because obviously working with Tony, like I'm a pattern recognition expert at this point. And
Yep.
so I recognize that pattern. I'm like, I know I shouldn't do this. It doesn't feel like this is like a smart decision, but I just need to do it because I'm trusting my body right now.
Yeah. Yep. I used to work on Wall Street when I first graduated from college, and had a similar thought. I'm like, huh, this is what it's going to take to be successful, and I don't want to go that way. So, um, yeah. So tell us more about Happy Life Labs. The website is very robust. There's a marketplace. I see this new thing. You have the certified sanctuaries with physician practices. That looks pretty awesome. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
tell people more about that.
Well, the business has evolved, like any company. So we've been in business for 13 years now. The first rendition of the business was Brett Harmeling selling products that I used and that people wanted access to. Now the world is so saturated, and so I'm like, I don't want to be a product pusher and like paid influencer and all this. Like, I don't. That's not my model. And so I just had recently brought on a new partner, and over the years had the opportunity to work with some very elite athletes like Max Verstappen, Formula One, and some UFC fighters and some NBA athletes and some NFL players, NASCAR. I mean, like pretty much any professional sport, I've worked with people at the top of their game. So I took that model because I was only impacting a very few people, and then I shifted it to a more platform model, which is like the intersection of where all the world's best products, people, and places live on a platform. And then now our primary focus with my new partner, Aaron Bear, is to really target the doctors and dentists and practitioners and professionals that are really kind of have trusted clientele already, so that they don't have to feel like they're pushing products. Rather, they can take on a partnership with Happy Life Labs, and then we can bring in the products in a very seamless way where it's like, hey, we've partnered with Happy Life Labs. This company verifies and vets the world's best products, and so we're going to give access to those products at the best price through our relationship. And the
Yeah.
simple question is like, does your doctor really, is he prescribing preventative, proactive care? Or is he kind of behind the mark and just managing your health as you come in and as you need support? And if the answer isn't he's doing proactive stuff and teaching me about all about all this biotech and tools, then your doctor either needs to be replaced or he needs to meet us because we want to be providing those tools to the doctors and people that are really caring for the next generation of people.
And that's great. I love the idea of that would be so much cooler and great innovation where doctors and healthcare providers and even longevity clinics, some that I've worked with,
Yeah.
do a better job educating people, kind of like coaching, right? Coaching is so great because it's like also, it's not just dumping the information, it's at the right time, in the right space, in the right state, which is obviously a very skillful thing to do, to be able to do. But if people were able to do that more and maybe brought more of that coaching modality into that world, I think it'd be really powerful. It sounds like you guys are doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to have a bigger impact, and I've poured a
Yeah.
lot of work into this, and we've reviewed over 3,000 products, and we currently only represent 100 brands, and so it's pretty serious, even though it's
Yeah.
not that serious, as my partner was saying. And so um, that's his whole thing, is it's not that serious. Like life is, you should not take it too seriously, because otherwise you'll just die someday and be like, man, I wish I would have had more fun, you know?
Yep.
So it's a great, powerful reminder to not take life too seriously, and to manage your stress, which is why we're focused on this space. Because I'm like, simple tools like these energy harmonization devices and the right types of electrolytes and understanding your body's biology and what works for you and what doesn't. This is new age stuff. And so it's available to everyone now. And so it's like now we want to tap into that new level of intelligence and then use the tools that are actually taking the codes and frequencies from nature and making them more accessible
Yeah.
to us when we're inside or forced to be in situations or environments that aren't really healthy for us.
Yep. What's something you do to lighten up sometimes or not take yourself too seriously when things might get intense for you?
Well, I have kids, so if I don't want to be the hero of my, I've got young kids, I should say. And so
Yeah.
my mission is to be the hero of my family and like have my kids be like, my dad was super awesome. Like, let's, I just want them to have that memory of me being a happy, fun, loving dad. And I miss the mark a lot, but I'm literally, it's my mission. And so it's at the forefront of everything I'm doing. And I'm just committed to doing my best and loving them freely and openly for who they are and not trying to control them or manipulate them and just being like think just like that's what I wanted and needed as a little boy that I could never ask for is that love and attention. Like I hug and kiss my kids all the time. Like and that they know that I love them. I don't remember feeling that way at all. And I'm not saying my parents didn't love me, but I just like I think it's a lost art. And I'm like, let's bring it back, you know? It's
Yeah.
impossible to love someone too much when you like don't have any attachment to them,
Mm,
which is
yep.
the yogic concept of aparigraha, which is non-attachment, which that way you give power to, you lose, you have a certain level of power. So if you give it to something or someone else, you're literally sacrificing your own being. And so you got to be conscious of who you give your energy to.
Mm, yep. Totally. What is that? The say it again. I can't even pronounce it.
Aparigraha.
Aparigraha. What is that?
It's the second limb of yoga, which is not, non-attachment.
Ah, okay, cool. And you're a yoga. You've studied yoga for for a while,
I
right?
have my yeah, I have my 500-hour master yoga certification. Taught in 13 countries, trained over 200 instructors, and taught close to 3,000 hours of classes. So I've definitely tapped into yoga, and I did it. As a very selfless reason. I did it because in the art of going inward and deeper and deeper and deeper,
Yeah.
I like to do things in the space of longevity that I can do forever. So that
Yep.
yoga is something that I'm gonna do the rest of my life. It looks different
Yeah.
than it used to when I was doing 6 studio classes a week. Now I might do one if I'm lucky, right?
Yep.
But it changes, and I'm just in flow state of where I'm going. And then as a gift to humanity, I was like, well, I want to share what saved my life and my brain. Um, so then I, became a teacher and instructor and made a pretty big impact here in Houston and then also globally because of all the events and things that I've taught at. So
Nice. That's cool. How does yoga help people master their own energy?
it quiets the noise. So when you put energy into motion, you shift it. So energy in motion equals emotion.
Hmm.
And as you know from the world of Tony, the quality of your life depends on the quality of emotions that you feel like the most of. And so if you feel stuck in your body, like it's pretty hard to be in a good mood
Yeah.
or to make good decisions. And so yoga is the art of connect. Yoga means to unify or it means yoke, which means to unite or to connect. And so you're connecting yourself. And when people make bad decisions because they're disconnected from their truth.
Mm. Yep.
And so
So true.
yoga brings the body back into balance. It quiets the noise. It connects all the 12 systems of the body, which I believe there's 13 now, 13th being the fascial tissue. There's a lot of research and studies being done about how important fascia is in the body's system
Yep.
as it's the connectivity and thing that holds us together quite literally. So, um, yeah, it's been a fun journey. And just like yoga, I like to also do things. Where there's no top, like just because I've done all these like there's no being, I'm not just because I can do a handstand doesn't mean I'm a better person. Right? It's just like it's all about becoming the best version of yourself when you're on the yoga
Yeah.
mat. And it's not trying to prove it to anybody. There's competitions which I find awkward, very weird and awkward, but I'm also like whatever, there's a competition for everything, so keep,
Yeah.
whatever makes people happy.
Yep. But that is true. It's about self mastery, and there's endless, like Bruce Lee. He'll keep going till the end. I like what you said too about it's bringing it back to the authenticity, bringing it back to you being truly authentic to your authentic self.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this call and you haven't tried yoga, just look up the 8 limbs of yoga and just, I'm Catholic, I'm super Christian, and so but you should still study and like it's an embodiment of energy, and like these principles are like the Constitution. There's rules that if you can just live by them and practice them, like, you know, ahimsa, no violence, like If the world could have more peace, then we would know peace and we could feel more peace. And so I just think it's healthy to know culturally, like the more cultures and teachings that you can understand in the world, the more you understand like how you fit into the fabric of humanity. And when you understand like what where you fit into that fabric, then you can understand like how you can make a bigger impact.
Mm, yep. And what's the number one thing, or what's something that you notice is draining most people's energy without them even realizing it?
I mean, quite obviously our phones, right? And I can't remember the date, but there was a long time ago a scientist who patented the frequency of phones. So just like think potato chips, there's MSG, and when there's MSG, like it's almost impossible to stop eating the chips. Like it's just like it's a
Yeah.
chemical that makes you want more. Well, there's actually a frequency in screens and particularly phones, the actual screen, right? That's made. There's a frequency in the screen that actually makes it addicting of outside of all the content that you're looking at. I'm just
Wow.
saying the screen, the frequency of the actual screen. And so it pulls you in, and that's why you actually feel pulled in, and it makes it's making us sick, honestly. And then because of all of the heavy metals in our food supply and our dead food, and like the food chain is totally this is a whole other episode, but like the food that we're eating is dead. Even if you're eating an organic egg from the grocery store, that egg has probably been harvested 6 to 9 weeks ago. So the nutrient density that gets taken at time of, you know, collection versus the time you're eating it, who knows which how many nutrients you're actually getting. And I'm saying about the food supply, because I'm tying it back to energy here. We're eating a lot of metals unconsciously. What do metals do? They attract frequency. So we are literally walking antennas and overstimulated because our bodies are attracting more
Yeah.
electricity, and our world is full of 5G, Wi-Fi. Like, think about it. That's why when you go for a forest walk or you don't have your phone on you for even like a couple hours, you start to feel like awkwardly good.
Yep. You're like, I need to get back to my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So what's the prescription to balance it? Obviously, I don't think people are going to stop using their phones, but how do you kind of coach people on this, on how to manage their phones better? Instead of it using them, they use the phone.
Yeah, I mean, proximity is power, right? So
Yep.
the farther you have it away from you, or like, and then calendaring boundaries, saying
Yep.
like you can do the screen locks. There's a device called a brick where you have to like put it to the brick. It literally disables you can't get anything besides like whatever you tell you want it, and then you can't get it back until you actually physically tap your device back on that thing. So if
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. So you're like, it's so
Is
good. My wife got it for me for Christmas. I was like,
is that one of the
uh,
products you guys have on Happy Life Labs?
yeah, it's one of the
Should
products.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. It's
because
called
it's
the
called the
Brick.
brick. Brick,
Okay.
yeah. You basically brick your phone so you can't use it, which is
Okay.
better because like you can always people will always find a way to get through the lockout apps and things like that. But when it's a physical device that like if you go for the day and you're like, I'm gonna brick my phone, like there's no getting out of it.
Wow. I gotta
Yeah,
look
it's
this one up
crazy.
here.
So that, and then the hue of the screen, I always have night shift on 100% of the time unless I'm editing content.
Ah,
And
even
then
in the
there's a way to
daytime.
turn on, and there's a way to make your screen by pushing the button on the side 1, 2, 3 times and to turn it red. I don't know if you can see my phone on there, but you
Yeah.
can turn it red.
Yep.
So that's a setting that you can do to change the hue of your phone. The science is simple. When the sun goes down, so should your lights. It's that
Yep.
easy. If there's no visible light outside, then why should you be stimulating your body with light? You're literally overriding nature's signals that it's time to go to rest and start down regulating. That's something that I've really been focused on in this kind of next level of my business is nervous system regulation.
Yeah.
If your body is overstimulated and not regulated, the food that you eat, the everything just doesn't land in your body the way that it was designed to.
Yep. Wow.
So the key is there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's doing the best you can with what you have. So there's no shame in not having a Lila Quantum Infinity capsule, for instance. But if now that you know about the tool, there's also devices that you can put on your phone that like they take the frequency from like 1,000 nanometer, like over stimulating hertz to like below one. Those are great devices.
Yeah.
So those are
So
just a few things that you can do, and you'll naturally like immediately within a day feel a shift if you get those things implemented into your game plan.
wow, really cool. I used to wear that Q-Link, O-Link. You remember that Q-Link thing?
Yeah.
Was that
Yep.
useful? I always wondered if that was actually effective.
I mean, some of this is placebo and some of it's science, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes you could bring things into your space like this, for instance, if you got this, this is infinity block, so it holds a higher frequency. If you got this, you probably wouldn't feel anything from it right away.
Okay, but over time
However,
it has effects.
however, when I have this in my space, I'm conscious to everything that's going around me. So I'm like real dialed in, right?
Wow. I can get that on Happy Life Labs too, yeah?
Yeah, all these products are found on happylifelabs.com. This is Lila Quantum. It's the top quantum energy company in the world. I say that because they actually have paid the money to have all the scientific, black ion microscope, all the things like prove that it's real. There's a lot of companies don't invest in the R&D and the research, and they just say, "Oh yeah, this thing harmonizes energy," and you're like, "Okay, prove it,"
Yeah.
And there's just no proof, and this company's proved it, and they've won significant awards around the science. And you can also go on their quantum upgrade program, which then you can actually set your frequency personally or of a space. So
Yep.
like people that, because with quantum energy, it's quantum energy for those that are new to that term or concept, it's the energy behind matter. So once you put something onto the quantum field, it's there forever. And then you can manipulate the energy because it's on the field
Hmm. How do you put something on the quantum field?
through frequency harmonization, like
Oh,
what frequency it's charged with.
yeah. So
So
what,
if
for
I put
example,
if
what's
I
an
put a
example?
bottle, if I put my pills or a bottle or even my wedding ring band in this device for three
Ah,
minutes, it'll structure it in a way that will bring the
ah,
molecules that are inside of that frequency.
yep.
It'll make them more impactful.
That's cool. So then it'll be on the quantum field
Correct.
forever.
It'll land in your body. Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
recharge things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just setting the right codes. What about when sometimes my fiance, she charges like things with crystals in the sunlight? Is that similar or is that different?
Yeah, that's amazing. No, that's really good. It's a good practice.
Yeah.
Obviously, gems hold frequencies from nature, right? And because they're like deeply embedded rocks at one point. And so those energy, depending on what energy you're going for in a space, having the right crystals, gems, rocks, whatever you want to call them, in your space that will determine the energy of the space. A
Yeah.
good a place that does this well is Sun Life Organics. They have, very specific crystals and gems in their spaces based on
Yep.
the location, based on the energy. And so Khalil's done a great job of optimizing the energy in those spaces.
Wow. That's cool, man. I love that. I was looking online for these products, but yeah, that's awesome. So I love this. That one's cool. That like square one. Just kind of have it right there on your desk.
Yeah. Well, especially if you have an electric car, people, so they'll call it the travel or the car block, because if you have an
Yeah.
electric vehicle, those things are just buzzing with very unnatural energy that are just
Yeah.
will make it almost impossible for you to have a kid if you're looking to, if anybody that's looking to have a
Yeah.
kid, like definitely want to get your vehicle dialed in with frequency,
So
making sure that the frequency of that vehicle isn't robbing you from your energy.
so is it a bad idea to drive an electric, or you just have to get it protected with these things and then you're okay?
Protected.
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about flow state. How do you define flow state, first of all?
Flow state's like that space where you feel no resistance, in your life where you're like, I could literally like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna find out a way. And
Yeah.
flow state is, most people will get a 1 to 3 hour dose of it at a time. It doesn't last forever. It's literally impossible to sustain. But it's like when you're tapped into like whether it's a computer, not because of addiction, because you're so hungry and passionate. Tony Robbins is a good example. Like the fact that that guy that he can talk on stage for literally 12 hours with not even going to the bathroom is like a miracle, right? And so no, it's incredible. And so
Yeah.
you study flow state and you're like, when it matters enough or it feels like it just comes like you're channeling your through source, your higher power, God, whatever you want to call
Yep.
that, you just become invincible. And so it's that like limitless feeling where you're just like untethered. There's no friction. That doesn't mean there's not going to be, it's going to be easy or simple, right? It just means that you're going to knock through all your things. And so
Yeah.
people will feel this, when they're aligned with what they're doing.
Yep. Totally. Is that similar to being, I forgot the word you said, like harmonized with the quantum field or like kind of locked in with the quantum field?
Well, harmonization, like when you are in a harmony and your body's firing on its all of its biological systems naturally, then
Yeah.
you have a higher chance of being able to get into flow state
Yep.
in a more frictionless way. Sometimes it takes me a while, like because I don't use like artificial supplements to get me in there. People do like things like Adderall. It's like you're in flow state, like that's a super drug. You're in flow.
Yeah.
That's why it's addicting. You will just be locked in, dialed in, performing at the best you could ever imagine until you wears off, you know?
Until you crack. I've done it in college when I was studying for finals. It's like you feel like Superman. It's insane. It's like Bradley Cooper in Limitless,
Yeah,
but there's
exactly.
definitely downsides and trade-offs. So don't do Adderall. But
Do
yeah,
not do Adderall.
yeah.
It's part of my journey getting off Adderall. It's do not do Adderall.
Um, so how do you get into flow state on demand? How do you create that experience for yourself, and how do you help clients do that?
Yep. So now I just like literally simple breath work, simple movement. I mean, like in under 5 minutes.
Yep.
I don't really use caffeine as much as I used to. Caffeine is a good thing to get your brain into gear. What I'm using more currently now is a byproduct of caffeine after it gets metabolized by the body called paraxanthine. So it
Mm,
gets your brain immediately into action and motion. Non-addictive. It's a natural occurring thing in the body and there's no crash. So I feel like it's just like the Porsche of
yeah.
nootropics, which nootropics are things that stimulate your brain. Also, I'm using different functional mushroom blends that help me get there as well. Sometimes it just depends. Right now in this season of my life, I'm having two young kids and just focused on sleep and making sure that I can get my brain the rest that it needs so that I can
Yep.
actually achieve flow state. But flow state you can feel almost anywhere, when I'm driving a Porsche or in a run where you're like, I should be done right now, but for some reason I can keep going. Like
Yeah.
that's where you feel it the most is when you get your body into motion. So movement, breath work, sunlight, hydration. I mean, we are the most overhydrated nation in the world, and we still have all these health problems. So it's clearly not hydration. It's something deeper than that, which is why I say it's the
Yeah.
energy. We're overstimulated.
Yep.
So all of my clients that come to me, 100% so far, they're like, what do I need? What do I need? I'm like, we need less. You need less. You need
Yeah.
to do less. I need to get you to do less. Like literally
Yep.
100% of my clients. And because it's very uncomfortable when you start looking in. That's why
Yep.
people, they get busy. They want, because when you're busy, you don't think about what you have to deal with, which is yourself. And so I always get people going back to like looking inside instead of looking outside,
Yeah.
which is a state frame
Yep.
change.
That's huge. Um, it's why it's sleep. It's like when you said all those other things. That's what's so cool about this, right? There's infinite amount of things you could do, and there's only so much time you have to do all these things. So it's like the 80-20, right? Like, and sleep is kind of the lowest hanging fruit that most people don't even get nearly enough of, or just not even enough, but also the quality of it as well, or even optimizing the consistency of your sleep, right? That'll be a game changer as well.
Yeah, timing, circadian rhythm, lights. But
Yep.
here's the thing, Naeem, sleep is a skill. And like
Yeah.
it's a habit. So like people just think about it, you're a kid and you just go to sleep. But like as you get older and you have injuries and things
Yep.
happen and you have trauma, like your sleeping environment's like the most important thing to get right too. Let me
Yeah.
speak on that real quick. So the light, zero light. I'm talking zero light. In your room, even like the things on the fire extinguisher, tape, put a tape over that light because your body is responding to
That's
that little light.
yeah.
Okay, the whole night, and it's like thinking like that it's something that it needs to respond to. So light, temperature, got to get the temperature right. Optimal sleeping temperature is 68. I can't do that, so I do 72. I'm just saying like the body is designed to sleep at 68 most efficiently. And then you have air. Air is the most probably the most overlooked and most important thing. So you want to have a Jasper air scrubber next to your bed because
Mm,
you're laying still, breathing air, and if it's not getting circulated and filtered, your lungs are doing all the work while you're trying to sleep.
wow. Yeah.
And then the last one is noise. So just think all of your senses, think sensory experiment, and how can you optimize those senses? And then
Yeah.
once you start getting your sleep dialed in, the rest of your life starts getting better, by the
Yeah,
way.
right.
Yeah.
That sounds great, man. I love the Jasper scrubber sounds cool. Um, and the what was it? I wrote something else down right here. The oh yeah, the light thing. It's like yeah, I guess you have sensors on your body. I guess that can sense there's still lights going on, right?
Of
Even
course.
sometimes in the past, I would not anymore. I'm more sensitive, but like if I kept the blinds open, if there's like lights coming from buildings, it's like
Oh yeah. No,
crazy.
it's bad. It's
Yeah.
very bad. So if you're traveling, how do you do this? Eye mask, eye
Yep.
mask and earplugs. You got to optimize your mind. I travel with a travel air filter. Like I'm very serious about it because otherwise you're just rolling the dice on your health. And oh, I got
Yeah.
sick. Well, did you know that your bedroom in the hotel has, even though it's a five-star hotel, had mold? No, you
Yeah.
didn't. But if you slept with a air purifier, the chance of you getting mold toxicity and elevated CO2 is way down.
Yep. Which air
So
purifier do you travel with? The same one, the Jasper one? There's a portable one, or you just take the thing?
no, I have a different one. I can't think
Okay.
of the name off the top of my head, but it has ozone in it as well, so it'll
Yeah.
clean the air.
Okay. Yep. Um, are we the most hydrated nation, or are we most hydrated like on things besides water? Like, do we just drink a lot of soda and like coffee and stuff, but not enough water, or is it?
No, like it's a big joke in the parent community because like, oh, drink more water, and drink more water. Well, this is on the conference table at my car club, but this is the death of us. These
Yeah, the
little
plastic.
plastic water
Yeah.
bottles.
Yep.
Because if you're drinking water out of plastic, so what you need to start doing is drinking water out of, this is a molecular hydrogen generator. So
Oh,
basically what it does when you turn it on, I don't know if you can see my camera, but
that's cool,
it,
man.
it's going to start creating hydrogen inside of this bottle. And that hydrogen is the gas that your body can absorb more oxygen with. So
Wow.
another cool tool, when you drink this water, you're putting microplastics into your body, and so if you like, man, I drink all this water, but I don't feel like I'm hydrated. It's
Yep.
because it's not living water. It's not structured, and our bodies don't know what to do with it. It's like, what do we do
Yeah.
with this liquid in our body? It's not even water, and it's likely
Right.
filled with toxins, and
Yeah.
chemicals and microplastics.
What's that? Oh, it's right. Is this it right here? The Luma Vitae water bottle. I look on your website.
In our portfolio, we have the Luma Vitae and we have the Echo. So depending on your budget, we have two
Yeah.
options. I travel all the time, so at home we use the Kangen water system,
Yeah, that's good too.
non-negotiably the best in the world for molecular hydrogen production
Yep.
and ionization. So yeah, and there's only two couple ways you can structure water because water through nature is structured through the going through tons of sediment and all that energy and friction and ionization that happens naturally as it's flowing. But then once you bottle it, you take it out of its own flow state and it dies. Like it just literally
Yeah.
becomes nothing. And so you got to bring energy back into it. And that's why, putting hydrogen in your water. Hydrogen is 1,000 times more antioxidant than vitamin C.
Wow. Yeah.
Hyperreactive gas. So if you're looking to like get energy, remove environmental toxins from your body, focus on your gut health, like hydrogen in water is like non-negotiable, one of the top things you can do for your health.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Wow. Um, what does the peak human version of a listener look like a year from now if they take your mission seriously and implement some of these things, advice you gave us today?
I think the peak humans that we are creating through our movement are people that wake up with confidence, clarity, and certainty that they know that they're doing the best they can because they have the right tools. And so it's like removing that distraction. Like, because right now, if you went to like search molecular hydrogen water bottles, there's going to be hundreds.
Yeah.
So you have to go through all of that, like price modeling, like which one's the best, like. And so we've just created a marketplace where if it's in our play, if it's in happylifelabs.com, we've done deep research. We are friends slash family with the founders of these companies, like helping build and grow their brands. And we have a pulse on everything that's happening in the market. So we know when new products come to the market and things like that. And so we're just, we're pretty serious about the integrity of products that come into our portfolio. And then we represent them because we believe in them and they have not only personally impacted us, but made a indelible impact on humanity. So
Yeah. I love that, man. So cool. That's such a great just gift to the world you guys are doing, right? I'm sorting through all this info. It is super overwhelming. Even when I look for like glass water bottles to get on Amazon, I'm like, it's like a lot of research I do just to get a glass water bottle. So
yeah,
that's great. And that the ones you mentioned, I never even heard about that one. So it looks pretty dope and it looks cool too. So I'm going to check out one of those on your website also.
awesome.
So this has been great, man. I loved having you on. This is so much info and a lot of great insights for myself that I'm going to take action on. Um, if people want to learn more, they can obviously go to the website, happylifelabs.com. And we'll put the link in the show notes. Um, any other things I'm missing in terms of if people want to connect with you or things like that, or is that the best place to go?
No, yeah, I'm an open book online, Brett Harmeling on LinkedIn, Brett Harmeling on Instagram, Brett Harmeling on Facebook. So you can find me there. There's a powerful reminder like that whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So if you choose to not just turn a blind eye and think that, air, water, and energy are not important, you're going to likely end up with some sort of issue in your life that could have been likely prevented. And so take your health seriously. Your health is literally the most important thing to put your focus on. It's the best investment you can ever make when you see that these bottles are hundreds of dollars and this is $1,000 and you start adding it up. Think like what is the cost if you get sick, right? It's literally the amount of money it costs to get sick is just 10x what it would cost to just bring some simple tools in your life and take radical control of your vitality.
100%. I agree. Awesome, man. I'm gonna ask you again anyway. That was a great final message, but I'm gonna ask you another final message to give to the audience. So what's your departing message for the audience here?
The departing message on behalf of myself and Happy Life Labs is like the best gift that you can give the world is becoming the best version of yourself. So be tenacious, be bold, and like ask questions to get, if you want better results, ask better questions and always be curious and just be kind to people because the world is it's a place where people, as you become healthier and as you become more vibrant, the low frequency people will try to bring you down to their level because they want you to relate to them. So never sell yourself short and keep investing in yourself so that you can pursue the dreams and leave the indelible impact on humanity that you are committed, that you were designed to leave.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Brett. It was awesome having you on.
Yeah, thank you, Naeem.